Howdy! Welcome to the Whiskey Butler. I am your host, Wesley Butler, here to serve you a little whiskey wisdom. Hey, look, as you notice, we're back at Town Center Market. Ted Spiropoulos here, drinking a little whiskey. Got the camera guy who's, hey, you're not supposed to drink the whiskey till we start talking about tasting the whiskey. Okay, you're smelling it. Okay, all right. Anyway, we're still talking barrel picks here. We're talking Town Center Market barrel picks here today. And now we've got an Old Forester. Old Forester is your fourth barrel pick?
Yes.
Old Forester is the fourth barrel pick, and it's got an interesting name to it. It says the middle child. We will get to that a little bit later. There's a good story behind that, okay? But first off, let's talk about, so number one barrel pick was Makers, 46. Number 2 was Woodford.
Yes.
Number 3 was Four Roses.
Yep.
Now we're up to Old Forester.
Correct.
Old Forester, so Woodford and Makers kind of have the same flavor profile. Four Roses, definitely a different profile. I would actually say that Old Forester is even a different profile than Four Roses and the other two. So what made you go to the Old Forester for a private barrel?
Well, thanks for having me, Wesley.
Totally.
Glad you're here. I've always been a big fan of Old Forester whiskey. This 1920, which is why we have it here, is basically my everyday drink.
That's your everyday drinker.
Yeah.
It helps to own a liquor store to make old Prohibition style your everyday drinker.
Right. And
when did Prohibition start?
1920.
Yes,
as
it states on there. Yes.
On the bottom. I kind of evolved into drinking 1920 before I dove into it. Like you said, it's not like an inexpensive selection, but my palate's evolved, and I really enjoy drinking this whiskey. And so when I got the opportunity to, for Old Forester to offer me up a barrel, I snapped it up in a heartbeat. There was no question. I wanted to be part of the Old Forester barrel program, and the outcome was fantastic. The product was exceptional in my opinion. Obviously, again with my flavor profile, but I was really happy with the outcome and the whole process.
Well, that's good. It's always good to be happy with the thing that you wanted to turn out the way you wanted to, right?
Sure.
That just came out really weird. But anyway, so you talked about your flavor profile. So you're drinking the Prohibition style. Old Forester has their Whiskey Row series. Prohibition style is part of the Whiskey Row series. Also with 1910, 1897, the Bottled and Bond, which I have at home because I love Bottled and Bond, and the 1870, which is, they call it the original style or the old-fashioned style, something like that. So why does the 1920 fit your flavor profile? What's your flavor profile?
Well, we've talked about it a lot. I like aggressive, right?
Aggressive.
I like, the rye, the spice, the in-your-face, the long finish, right? Something that's lasting. And this certainly 1920 hits a lot of notes. The proof is great. It's 115. You could drink it neat. You could blend it in a Manhattan or
really? You're gonna tell somebody to blend this in a Manhattan?
Why not?
I mean, dude, if you're paying this much for a bottle,
$60.
No.
I'm 62 or something like that.
At 115 proof, you're gonna put it in a Manhattan. You're gonna knock some folks on there. People gonna roll into their hipster bars out there and be like, "Can I get a Manhattan with some Old Forester Prohibition style?" That's gonna be the last drink they drink at that bar.
Well, how many drinks do you want to have before you've had enough?
This is true. This is true. Although usually when I have actually upset some hipster bartenders. So I went to this speakeasy in San Francisco. I mean, it was the whole thing, right? You had to say a password to get in. It's like pitch black dark with a bunch of candles inside, Bartender's inside. He's got his vest on, and he's got his bow tie, and he's Tom Cruising it up, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, bro, nice jacket." I'm like, "Thank you." And he goes, "What can I get you?" "I'll have an Old Forester neat." And he literally looked at me as if to say, "That's it?" That's all you want? Like I'm turning things around here, and all you just want is an Old Forester neat.
Old Forester neat is enough.
That's what I wanted to tell him. Like that's all I need.
Yeah, well, for me it is. At home it is. But if I'm in the mood for an old fashioned with a nice big fat ice cube, or I'll put it in there. Put a little bitters and a little bit of sugar and enjoy it, because it is that it is just a tremendous bottle of whiskey for me. Me.
I mean, I like the 1920. This is the first time I've had it. I'm a fan of the 1910. The God, what do they call the 1910? Old, I don't know, but the 1910's good. It's got a lot of chocolate on the back end, whatever.
A little lighter.
It's a little lighter. It's this is 115. Your barrel is in the
almost 130.
Almost 130, whatever. Had to take the bow tie off. I had to get rid of the bow tie. I knew we were going to hit a 130, almost a 130 on this one. I was like, might sweat a little bit on it. Can we turn the air up, please?
It's already up.
So we're drinking the Prohibition style. This is your everyday. Old Forester said, "You want a barrel?" You said yes. So let's talk about the process of getting your Old Forester single barrel.
Yeah. So this was in the heart of COVID.
Heart of COVID.
Yeah, everything's pretty much shut down. We're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Have some choice words for COVID.
But again, distillers found a way to get product to us, to get to customers. So when I was given the opportunity, I snapped it up because I really like Old Forester and I like their products. So it was a unique and very fun experience talking with one of the distillers there at Old Forester. They sent me samples.
How many?
I think it was 4.
4 samples.
4 samples. And before, they were basically blind, naked, no description on them whatsoever.
No description, just bottle A, B, C, D.
Right, and he's like, give them a whirl, let's talk about them. And all
this is via Zoom.
Yes. I literally sat basically right here with my laptop and with him on the other end. And I don't want to sound corny or weird, but I could just feel the passion in this guy's the distiller's conversation with me about his whiskey and their product. And I was already bought on Old Forester because, like I said, I love the product.
Sure.
But it was as much as we all hate Zoom, it was a great Zoom call.
Okay.
And so we went through the product, we went through the samples, and I did come to choosing this one over the others. And we talked about it a little bit and talked about what I liked and what I disliked about the other bottles relative to this one and the samples. But it was like I said, for a Zoom call, it was a very rewarding and very just a great experience for me in a selection process.
Okay, so I'm gonna push you a little bit more on this. So this one was from Warehouse K, 5th floor. It's 129.7 proof. Okay, so how did this one differ from the other 3 samples that they sent you?
So I was shocked at how different each sample was. And
was this the highest proof sample?
No, it was not.
Okay.
There was one that was higher.
Whew, higher than 129.7.
It was 132, 133 in that vicinity. But what a stark contrast in whiskeys relative, compared to what I picked versus the higher one. This one just had a little more balance to it, a little more fullness and flavor, and it was just not as hot. It's hot. It's 130. And no question, it's hot. But when I drank the one that was ultimately at the highest part of the Rick House, as ultimately what he disclosed to me, it was significantly different, and it was only a few points, but it made a world of difference. And the ones that were a little lower in the Rick House were just a little too earthy, a little too just not as full flavor to me, and they were still high proof,
Right.
You know, in the teens, I want to say 120, in the 115 to low one teens to 120. Excuse me, but you know, this
We've
one
had a bit
just
of bourbon.
This one just hit the spot for me. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have it. This is we've let it open up because it's 1:30.
Cheers.
Kanpai. You got to let the 1:30 open up a little bit. You can't just pour that and drink it, okay? Whiskey is like wine. You got to let it breathe. You got to let it breathe. You got to let the air get into it.
As delicious as I remember it the first time.
Yeah. It really makes, I mean, you know, I've had this before, but it really makes a difference when you let it open up, right? I mean, if you just pour it and drink it, whew, that's going to be gasoline. I mean,
Right.
Doc Brown could use this in the DeLorean to send you back to the future, okay?
Oh, and let me add, right, you're talking about essentially rocket fuel. Yeah, that highest tier one was really hot and basically rocket fuel to me.
I mean, so I've had some Elijah Craigs that are in that 135, 133, and I mean, man, they're hot. You know, I don't know what it is about Elijah Craig. I mean, I liked them neat. You know, I put a little water with them. They were good too. I put a little water with this as well. But I think just letting it open up. So pour it, let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes. You know,
Sure.
it's not like adding water to it, but it does allow it to open up, sort of like the water does.
No question.
You know?
You know, it's great to, like you said, it's great to pour it, drink it immediately, see what it tastes like,
Right.
and then let it rest for a couple minutes, and you know, try it again. And it is a different experience for sure.
Yes, very different experience. So, okay, so how did the Old Forester resonate with your customers?
Oh, unbelievable! It was gone in, you know, minutes. I mean, I'm exaggerating minutes, but in the amount of bottles we got relative to how long it took to sell, it was gone in a week.
How many bottles did it yield?
132, 138, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay.
But it was gone in less than 7 days.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and as soon as it kind of gathered momentum, and this is one of the few barrels I kind of put online to let people kind of order outside of my, you know, area.
Outside of the people that just sort of walk in.
I had
buy.
people from Richmond. I had people
Really?
from the western part of Maryland. I had people from Delaware. As soon as it grew kind of organically, the messages in social media, it was gone in no time.
Wow.
And I'm a whiskey lover, and when I buy a bottle of whiskey, I open it. I don't resell it.
me neither.
But I would hope most of them actually got a chance to open it because it was a treat. It was a really good bottle of whiskey.
It is a good bottle of whiskey. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to spend however much I'm going to spend on whiskey, right?
Right.
I want to know what it tastes like. If I'm going to spend that amount of money on it, right?
Sure.
I want to know what it tastes like. I'm not just going to look at it and go, ooh, I bought this bottle of whiskey. And it's like, yeah, but what does it taste like? I don't know. I
don't know.
haven't opened
Right.
it yet. It's
Right.
just sitting there and it looks
Yeah.
pretty. No, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to totally drink
Absolutely.
it. Okay, so it flew off the shelves. Customers love it. Would you do another Old Forester?
100%.
Okay. Okay.
I would love to. I think we discussed earlier that, and I forgot to mention it earlier, that in January when I go down to Kentucky, I'm probably going to stop in Old Forester. And
Nice.
just say hello and thank them for, just allowing me to get this barrel into my store and be able to share it with my customer base.
Are you going to get a driver when you go to Kentucky? Because you're stopping at a lot of places. You know, you might want to get a driver while you're down
I
there.
might bring my son with me and just not have him drink. Oh, let me add, by the way, on this 1920, I saw it disappearing a lot while it was on the top of my bar, and I basically, and I asked my son, I'm like, "What's going on here?" And he's like, "This is really good." I'm like, well, I basically put it in the cabinet at that point because I was like, You know, the other guys like Evan Williams and you know, the stuff on top are for
Stick
you.
with the Buffalo Trace, okay?
Buffalo Trace is
leave my
another one on
prohibition
top.
style alone.
That's right. He's not touching it. You know, so. But
Keep your hands off my prohibition
again, it goes to
style.
my point. Like, you know, he, you know, he's a 20-something, but his palate evolved as well, and he tasted this, and he was like, "Wow, this stuff's awesome." And
So wait a minute. So he drank your Prohibition or your Barrel Pick?
the Prohibition, he hasn't had this.
Oh, he hasn't had this?
I don't think he's ready for it yet. but-
You're not ready, son. You're not ready. You're not ready. Okay, you got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to put some hair on your chest first.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so all of the barrels. So when you get your own barrel pick, you know they bottle them, they send them to you. Do they give you the barrel?
Yes. So this is a Four Roses barrel.
Okay.
This was number 3.
That was number 3.
Yeah. Number 4 is not with us. It's at a local brewery, Streetcar 82.
Okay, Streetcar 82.
I lent them the barrel, and so just to back up a little bit, but prior to us having a liquor license, we were predominantly a beer and wine store before we got our liquor license in
Okay.
2016 or 2017, somewhere in that area. But what got me into bourbon was being able to sample and taste barrel-aged stouts. And barrel-aged stouts were just, I really fell in love with them. And which got me into bourbon. And just the way the profiles of stouts changed when soaking in a bourbon barrel were just a different level for me. So I did a maker's barrel, which was this guy. That's the 46. But I gave that to a brewer who made a barrel-aged stout for us, and we served here at our store on our taps, which was a great hit. So I reached out to Streetcar 82, who's a local brewery just down the street from us in Hyattsville, and he took our barrel. Mark Burke, who's one of the owners at Streetcar 82, happily took our barrel and said, I will make a barrel-aged stout that we will share both at his brewery and in our location here that we'll pour on draft. And I can't wait for the final product. I think it's going to be awesome.
How long are they going to age it in the barrel?
You know, I'm not too up
We need
to
to
date.
get we need to get Mark.
We
in
need
here.
to get the Mark here.
We need to get Mark in here. Okay.
To talk about that kind of stuff. But he came in, picked it up, and you know, I think it's like a 6 to 9 month process.
Okay.
But don't hold me to that.
No. So I'm not really a beer. I'm not a beer guy myself, right? I have had some whiskeys that were aged in stout barrels, right? You know, so basically the reverse, you know, and they were really good, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that when the whiskey industry caught on to the whole finishing process, right? Let's put it in a port barrel or a Cabernet or tequila or stout or something
sherry
like that.
or whatever.
Sherry,
Madeira,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it really does add a level of flavor. And depending, you know, if you put it in there for 3 months, but if you leave it in there for 6 to 9, even over a year, I mean, it really starts to pick up
You
those.
definitely have something.
Yeah, you definitely have something. So, yeah. So, okay. So, I forgot. Last thing. This one says, it says TCM, which stands for Town Center Market. But it also says the middle child, which is TMC, right? So we had a little mix-up earlier. We were like, no, it's TCM. No, it's TMC. It's TCM TMC, okay? Don't say that multiple times after you've had some of this bottle, okay? So why does it say the middle child on it?
Okay, so it's kind of funny. It kind of dawned on me when I was talking with the distiller, and he was laughing like you are now about how I came up with the name. He goes, you can put whatever you want on it. And, you know, I was sampling, and I was, you know, he finally disclosed the locations of the barrels in the rick house.
Okay.
About the ones that I didn't like that were lower and the ones that were higher, and this one that happened to be in the middle. And I'm like,
Just like the Three Little Pigs.
And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, I'm the middle child in my family. You know, I have an older sister and a younger brother who's partners with, you know, my brother's partners with me here at the store. And I'm like, perfect. middle of the Rick House, middle child. We are calling it the middle child. So
Nice.
So that's how the name kind of evolved there.
I honestly didn't even pay attention to that until you mentioned it earlier today, but I am not the middle child. I am the oldest.
Yeah.
Well, it's just me and my
Something
sister.
special about the middle child, you know?
Well, I mean, don't get me started on you middle children, okay? I've met some middle children in my days, and you are special, okay?
Definitely special. Definitely.
So, awesome. Well, I love the single barrel Old Forester. It's definitely got some heat on it. I mean, if you crush an entire bottle of this, right? I mean, you're
doing something.
You're doing something, and you're hopefully not driving. Oh, by the way, talking about going to Kentucky in January. So I went 2016. You got to make sure you go by Colonel Sanders' wife's original restaurant, where they serve the original recipe Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I will be there.
You gotta get. I mean, we basically drank whiskey all day, right?
Yeah.
And then the driver that we had, she was very smart because we were paying her by the hour, and she's like, "Hey, you guys hungry?" Well, yes, we've been drinking whiskey all day. She's like, "I'm gonna take you to this restaurant." Man, the original recipe KFC chicken. I mean, all we had was just fried chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, and some greens or whatever, green beans or whatever. So delicious. Now, was it delicious because we had been drinking all day and we were hungry, or was it delicious because of the original recipe? I like to think it was the latter, you know, but
I suspect it's a combination of both.
But I mean, you're eating fried chicken in Kentucky, right? I mean, it's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, you never know. You might be coming with in January,
Well,
right?
I mean, I got some vacation days, you know. I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that trip, and I'm excited because we do have a lot of barrels that will be rolling into Town Center Market in the next several months.
Don't tell them what they are.
We won't.
They got to watch those episodes.
We're going to do those episodes.
We're going to do those episodes. You got to watch those episodes. But for now, enjoy the. Well, you actually can't. You can't enjoy this Old Forester.
This guy's gone
because they're all gone. You know. But you can enjoy the next Old Forester if there's a next Old Forester. But you should certainly. Ted knows what he's doing. Okay. When the next barrel pick that they have here at Town Center Market, I encourage you to get it when it comes out because this one sold out in 7 days. So you can't mess around, okay? You just gotta put your money down, get it done,
and enjoy it.
Get her done and enjoy it, okay?
Yeah.
Have some friends over. Hey, just get them to put it, charge them like $5 or $7 each, right? To come over to your house. And then you can give them some pours. That'll pay for the bottle itself. Come on now. Be some enterprising folks out there. You millennials are enterprising. Gen X, I know we know what we're doing out there, okay?
And let me add, sorry to interrupt, Wesley, but we'll post our next barrel on Instagram.
Okay.
Town Center Market. And as soon as it hits, it'll go online. You can order it online. We'll hold it for you if you make the purchase.
There you go.
Online. And come pick it up, and it's all yours.
There you go.
You secure your barrel pick.
Instagram, secure your barrel pick, order it online, all that good stuff. Make sure your credit limit is high, We don't need no declined credit cards around here and all that good stuff, okay? So, I want to thank Ted again for letting us do the barrel pick interviews. It's been a long time coming. Actually, you didn't even have the Old Forester when we were originally started talking about these.
Well, I was waiting for the Old Forester to come. You kept asking. It's like, when? I was like, wait for the Old Forester to land. Would you? Just wait.
Just wait. Look, it's whiskey. I love talking about whiskey. You already had the other three in. I was like, these other three are good too. Why we got to wait for the Old Forester? I mean, the Old Forester is good too. So we've done them. Well, we haven't actually done them all. We didn't do the Woodford, but we did 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 is good. 3 out of 4 gets you into the Hall of Fame in baseball and in golf. So that's all that matters. So anyway, thanks for watching the Whiskey Butler. Thank Ted in Town Center Market.
Thank you, Wesley.
Like, share, subscribe. Click the bell when you subscribe, and be on the lookout for the next Whiskey Butler episode. Thanks for watching.